A question for you, a private one. Look at your phone. Look at your computer. How many tabs are open right now? How many podcasts are in your queue, waiting to be consumed at 2x speed? How many articles have you saved to read later? A digital graveyard of good intentions.
The fire hose is on full blast, isn't it? You're drinking it all in. The geopolitical analysis, the productivity hacks, the deep dive documentaries, the scientific breakthroughs, the 15-thread tweet storm that finally explains everything. You're connected. You're informed. You feel the constant low-grade pressure to keep up, to know more, to have an opinion ready to moment's notice. You are building a fortress of facts around yourself.
And I am here to tell you that your fortress is made of paper. You have been sold a dangerous lie, the foundational lie of the information age. The lie is that to consume information is to gain knowledge. It is not. You are not getting wiser. You are just getting full.
Welcome to the Great Buffet, the all-you-can-eat smorgasbord of information. And we, the hungry ghosts of the modern world, are gorging ourselves sick. We treat data like calories, believing that a higher intake automatically leads to a healthier mind. We binge on intellectual junk food, tidbits, headlines, summaries of summaries, and we mistake the bloated feeling of being in the know for the lean muscle of genuine understanding.
The great lie is that knowledge is a commodity to be acquired. It is not. It is a process to be undertaken. It is a transformation to be endured. And the system we live in is designed at every level to sell you the acquisition and prevent you from ever beginning the transformation. Because a transformed individual is ungovernable, unpredictable, free.
We listen to a podcast about entrepreneurship and feel like a founder. We watch a documentary about stoicism and feel like Marcus Aurelius. We read an article about quantum physics and feel like a physicist. It's a fantasy, a role-playing game where we collect intellectual costumes. But when the simulation ends and reality asks you to actually build something, to endure something, to solve something, the costumes fall away and we are left naked.
We have been trained to mistake the map for the territory. We collect maps, endless, beautiful, high-resolution maps of every conceivable subject. We study the legends. We memorize the place names. We can talk endlessly about the cartographic techniques used to render the mountains. But we have never set foot in the wilderness. We have never felt the sting of the wind or the exhaustion of the climb. And so we know nothing.
This isn't a learning disability. It's a designed outcome. The system that feeds you this endless stream of data isn't trying to educate you, it is trying to pacify you. It wants you scrolling, not thinking. It wants you consuming, not questioning. It wants you overwhelmed, because an overwhelmed mind is a compliant mind. This is the new opium for the masses, not religion, information addiction.
This is the state we live in, a state of perpetual intellectual anxiety. We are terrified of not knowing, so we cover our ignorance with a thin veneer of trivia. We're afraid of looking stupid, so we learn the talking points instead of the principles. We are a generation of quiz show contestants who think they're philosophers. We can name the capital of Kyrgyzstan, but we can't articulate a coherent ethical framework for our own lives.
And yet, you feel the fraudulence. You feel it in that moment at a dinner party, when a topic you've read 20 articles about comes up and you're asked a simple, clarifying question, and you freeze. Your mind is a flurry of disconnected headlines. You can parrot the conclusions,
but you can't reconstruct the argument. You can repeat the soundbite, but you cannot, for the life of you, explain the why. It's a terrifying feeling, isn't it? The quiet panic of being exposed as a hollow man, an echo.
We've become information hoarders, digital dragons sitting on a mountain of downloaded PDFs and bookmarked articles we will never, ever read. But it feels good to have it, doesn't it? It feels like potential, like power. We have the entire Library of Alexandria in our pocket, and this access creates the most seductive delusion of all, the delusion of ownership. You believe that because you can access a fact in 3 seconds, you somehow possess the wisdom it represents. To escape this delusion, we must first dissect it. We have to understand the cognitive traps laid for us, traps that we willingly, even eagerly, walk into every single day. The journey begins with a simple, powerful model that the noise machine has tried to make you forget: the pyramid of wisdom.
Imagine 4 levels. At the very bottom, you have data, raw, meaningless symbols, ones and zeros, the temperature reading of 98.6, a list of birth dates. It's just bricks lying in a pile. The modern world drowns you in this. The second level is information. This is data organized. It's data with context. The average human body temperature is 98.6 degrees. John F. Kennedy was born on May 29, 1917. Now the bricks have been arranged into a neat stack. This is the level where most of us live and die. It's the level of the talking head, the pundit, the informed citizen.
But the leap from information to the third level, knowledge, is a chasm. Knowledge is not about collecting stacks of bricks. Knowledge is about understanding the principles of architecture. It's the ability to take the bricks of information and build a wall. You don't just know the fact, you understand the relationships between facts. You can apply it. You can use that information to generate a new outcome. This is the level of the craftsman, the practitioner, the true expert.
And then there is the peak, the final, sacred level, wisdom. Wisdom takes the skill of the architect and asks the terrifying questions. Why are we building this wall? Is a wall what is truly needed here? What are the second and third order consequences of this wall? Should we perhaps be building a bridge instead? Wisdom is knowledge, tempered in the forge of experience, ethics, and a profound understanding of the human condition. It is the realm of the elder, the statesman, the master.
The system wants you at the bottom of that pyramid. It wants you drowning in data and gorging on information, because a citizen who can't get past level 2 is a profitable, predictable, and powerless citizen. And it employs 3 insidious psychological agents to ensure you never climb higher. First is your beloved echo chamber. The scientists call it confirmation bias. It's your brain's natural tendency to seek out and favor information that confirms what you already believe. In the past, this was hard to do. You'd be confronted by dissenting views in the town square. But today, the algorithm has perfected it. It builds a beautiful, comfortable, soundproofed room around your mind, and it pipes in only the information that makes you feel smart and right. It's an intellectual incest, and it feels so good. But it makes your mind weak, brittle, and incapable of dealing with a genuine challenge.
Second, and more dangerous, is the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is the cognitive trap that explains the sheer, unshakable confidence of the utterly incompetent. The graph is a terrifying U-shape. When you know absolutely nothing about a subject, your confidence is 0. But after you consume just a little bit of information, one documentary, 2 articles, your confidence shoots up to an insane peak. You are now standing on the summit of what psychologists call Mount Stupid. From this peak, you feel like a master. You overestimate your own ability, and you can't yet recognize the expertise of true masters. Our entire culture is a crowd of people screaming opinions at each other from the peak of their own private Mount Stupid.
And this brings us to the moment of reckoning, the third agent, the most terrifying of all. It's called the illusion of explanatory depth. This is the feeling you have that you understand how something works until you're asked to explain it. Think of a zipper, or a bicycle, or a flush toilet. You use them every day. You know how they work, right? But try it now. Try to explain, step by step, the precise mechanical process. You can't. The knowledge you thought was a high-resolution photograph in your mind is actually a blurry, impressionistic watercolor. And the moment you are forced to confront that blurriness is a moment of pure intellectual terror. That is the feeling of the information addict being confronted with the demand for genuine knowledge.
These 3 forces, confirmation bias, the Dunning-Kruger effect, and the illusion of explanatory depth, are the bars of your cognitive cage. They keep you fat and happy on a diet of shallow information, convinced of your own brilliance, while your capacity for true wisdom atrophies and dies. So, we have seen the delusion. We have named the daemons. Now, we begin the exorcism. This is the rebellion. And the first rule of this rebellion is this: we must move from a posture of consumption to a posture of creation. We must stop ingesting and start digesting. Information only becomes knowledge through the painful, effortful process of struggle.
Here is your first act of defiance, your pattern interrupt. It's not about reading more books. It's not about finding a better podcast. It is about waging war on your own shallow understanding. It's an old technique popularized by the physicist Richard Feynman. I am challenging you to do it this week.
Pick one concept, just one, something you think you know well. The theory of evolution, supply and demand, a political ideology you hold. Now, take out a blank sheet of paper. At the top, write the name of the concept. And now, try to explain it in simple, plain language as if you were teaching it to a 12-year-old. No jargon, no complex vocabulary, just the raw, naked logic of the thing. I guarantee you, what will happen? You will fail. You will hit a wall. You will discover gaps in your understanding so vast, they will terrify you. You will realize that what you thought was a steel chain of logic is actually a string of disconnected buzzwords. This moment of failure is the most important moment in your intellectual life. It is the moment you leave Mount Stupid behind. It is the moment the real work begins. Because only once you have identified the gaps can you go back to the source material, the books, the articles, and fill them with precision. You repeat this process until your explanation is simple, clear, and complete.
This is not studying. This is forging. You're taking the raw ore of information and hammering it through effort and fire into the hardened steel of knowledge. One sheet of paper, one concept, 1 hour of struggle is worth more than 100 hours of passive consumption. This is your new practice. This is your rebellion.
This is your first weapon. Now you must build your arsenal. Argue. Stop seeking validation and start seeking intelligent disagreement. Find the smartest person who holds the opposite view and try to understand their position so well you could argue it for them. This is called steel manning, and it is the ultimate antidote to the echo chamber. Build. Stop reading about business and start a tiny business, even if it's just selling something on Etsy. Stop reading about coding and try to build a simple website. Stop reading about fitness and go to the gym. Knowledge must be embodied. It must be tested against the unforgiving reality of the physical world. Teach. The The act of teaching is the final, most powerful stage of learning. Teach your kids, teach your partner, write a blog post, make a video. The pressure to articulate your knowledge for someone else consolidates it in your own mind like nothing else.
Do you see the common thread here? These are not acts of intake. They are acts of output. They are effortful. They are difficult. They often result in failure. And they are the only path up the pyramid, the only way to move from the crowd of consumers to the small band of creators.
We are living in a paradox. We are the most informed generation in history, and we are starving for wisdom. We have access to all the answers, but we have forgotten how to ask the right questions. We have built a civilization that celebrates the clever parrot and sidelines the contemplative elder.
The path of wisdom is not about being the person who has all the answers. It is about becoming the person who is no longer afraid of saying, "I don't know." It is about having the humility to descend from Mount Stupid and begin the long, slow, arduous climb up the mountain of real knowledge. It is about valuing depth over breadth and transformation over information.
So I am asking you to choose. You can continue to drown in the shallow, comfortable ocean of information, mistaking the endless current for progress. Or you can choose to rebel. You can choose to start the hard, sacred work of building, to pick up the bricks of data, and with your own two hands, through sweat and struggle, forge them into the shelter of true understanding. Stop being an echo. Stop being a vessel for someone else's thoughts. The world doesn't need another informed consumer. It is crying out for a wise creator, for a soul of substance. It is crying out for you.